Okay, I'm going to give you a quick little demo to show you something that they're going to talk about in Chapter 7 called a mean of sample means. And it's kind of a hard concept without just kind of seeing it in action. So here's what's happening. I have a population here that is a normal distribution, as you can see. These are data values that are inside here. And what we're going to do is grab 5 data values out of the set at a time, and it is going to find the mean of the data. And then what's going to happen is after I get several here, it's going to find the mean of these sample means. So I'm just going to kind of let it go for just a second here. This is grabbing 5 data values up here, and then it found the mean of the data values and plotted it here. This is the mean of these sample means. Okay, so these are means of the sample. This is the mean of the sample mean. So if we let this go and keep continuing to take groups of 5, then what happens is the mean of the sample means, well, it turns into something that looks rather normal. I'm going to go with some bigger groups because, as you know, a sample of 5 is kind of yucky. So let's go with a sample of 10,000. Whoa, we jumped up real fast. Look how it looks more and more normal as I get more and more samples in there, and that's a very important thing to understand. Now take a look with me over here. It says in the original population that the mean was 16. And so when I come down here, now I've done this thing 40,000 times, and the mean is 15.99. And I've taken the mean of all of these sample means, and this mean was 16. Look how beautiful that turned out. Okay? Now, what if it's not normal? What if it's skewed? That one's very heavily skewed, right? So let's just kind of watch. It's going to take 5, find the mean, take 5 more, find the mean, and the mean of the sample means. So we're going to take the mean of each group and continue to build that up here, and taking the mean of all of these and building it down here. So more and more going at a time. Look how it's building. It doesn't look skewed anymore, does it? Here's something else. Let's go with 10,000. Whoa! It looks normal. Interesting. The mean of the original data value, or the original data set, was 8.08. Look at the mean of the samples. The mean of the sample means. Nice. What you're seeing here is that even if it's heavily skewed, that it turns into a normal distribution when I take lots and lots and lots of samples and I find all of their sample means. Okay, let's do that again this time. Let's just do one that's just kind of, whoa, like that. Okay, so here's my population, and we'll start taking samples. I'm taking 5 at a time, finding the mean, finding the mean of the sample means. Oh boy. Takes a little longer, doesn't it? Let's go with 10,000s. Oh, looky there. So I start taking lots and lots and lots of repetitions of the samples and taking all of their means, and look what happened. The mean was 13.59. Look at the sample means. Neat. So it doesn't matter what kind of population I start with, the mean of the sample means is normal, and also it is the same mean as what we started with. It is approaching it anyway, depending on how far we go. Okay, so this is just something that I can't quite show you without a demonstration, and we would have done this in class also, so I'm kind of excited that we can do it this way. All right, one other thing I want to show you. We're also going to talk about standard deviation. So let's look at standard deviation. I'm just going to stick with my crazy population, and we are going to gather groups of 5. Here's my sample. finding the standard deviation of these samples. So here's the standard deviations of each of the samples, and it's building up. Let's do more and more. Lots and lots of samples, finding the standard deviation each time. Interesting. Let's go with much, much more. We're just going to gather lots and lots and lots and lots. Look at this. The standard deviation also tends to go towards a normal distribution. Also, the standard deviation is not the same, but there is a relationship. Clearly, something is happening there. We'll talk about that in the notes, though, okay? So it doesn't matter what I start with. Chapter 7 talks about if I take lots and lots and lots of samples, and my sample sizes are good, they recommend 30 or more, then the means will stay the same, and the standard deviation, that's going to do something different, but it's going to be predictable. So we have some notations and some formulas, but I wanted you to see what a mean of a sample mean was. That's this, finding the mean of each of those sample means from each of the samples. Okay? Hope this helps later. We'll get to talk about it a little bit later.